Good morning, and thank you for watching the Morning News Update. I'm Danae Bucci. Now that's a 45% difference between the national average and Boston's average, and the effects of that are being felt in neighborhoods just like this one across the city. Now, police say if you do find money on your own vehicle, don't touch it. Instead, get in your car and drive away. And the Orange Line is suspending service for all of the downtown stops. There is a shuttle bus for the northern stops if you do need to use the Orange Line in that area. Police say this parking garage is where the Christmas Day double murder-suicide took place. And the farm doesn't just do good during the holidays. They donate food to local pantries year-round to help with food deserts. Well, passengers are a little concerned about possible delays they could be seeing. Alerts like this one have been going out all day warning passengers of what changes are coming their way. Now, this is just one of several protests happening today, all trying to find solutions to avoid a war in the Middle East. City officials say this is just 1 out of 10 locations a student with measles traveled to during their infectious period. Senator Kamala Harris dropped out of the presidential race after being considered a frontrunner at the start of her campaign. Tonight's meeting is addressing several issues that the community is worried about. Boston residents have only one thing on their mind: the Patriots. And in a city full of superfans, Eddie Freeney thinks he has a little more skin in the game.
No matter what the 3 other quarters look like, they always get it done.
This is the 3rd consecutive year the Pats have been in the Super Bowl. Freeney felt so confident that his favorite team would win last year that he got a tattoo claiming as much before the game.
I do not believe in jinxes. I think a kid getting a tattoo would not affect Bill Belichick or Tom Brady.
He may not believe in jinxes, but many fans do.
Right after the game ended, my Instagram just absolutely blew up. It's over 400 comments. You jinxed it, death threats, you name it, everything.
Oh, that's right, you were on the news.
His friends agree.
I thought he was being crazy, to be honest. I told him, you're crazy, you're gonna jinx us, like, what are you doing? But he was going to the game, so I just let him do it anyway.
Freeney had a plan if the unimaginable Pats loss happened.
I always said last year, if they didn't win, they'll win the next year.
A year later, Freeney had one last chance to make his permanent tattoo a temporary mistake.
Yeah, they got it done. But that's Tom Brady, that's the Patriots.
In his favorite tattoo parlor in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, he tacked on the third eye, along with some other additions. And even though the win was a year late, it was just as sweet. Reporting in Boston, Danae Bucci, Husky News Network.
No more youth attacks.
We got your back.
Protesters hit the streets of Boston.
We want all U.S. troops out of Iraq.
Speaking out against the escalation of violence in the Middle East.
We've been at war for more than half my life, and the prospect of being in another one really doesn't sit well with me.
Thousands of people gathered around the country to denounce President Trump's killing of Iran's second-in-command, General Qasem Soleimani. The Massachusetts Peace Action and allied peace organizations hosting their own protests in Boston, Arlington, Andover, Northampton, and Walpole.
I think the United States may be on the brink of launching a war of aggression against Iran, and I'm glad to see that all these people from the Boston area are here to protest it as they are around the country.
Many of the people here believe the attack will embroil the U.S. into even more conflict in the Middle East, a region the U.S. military has had an active presence in for nearly 2 decades.
Trump and the Pentagon have acted illegally, in violation.
We need to bring the troops home and turn towards solving our own country's problems.
But President Trump says he took important action to remove a dangerous terrorist.
We did not take action to start a war.
The president's words offer no comfort to protesters.
I feel just a complete, macabre fear for all my friends in the military, all my friends in the armed forces, because they're going to be put in a lot of danger for no reason.
Protesters like Gabriel are hoping de-escalation is not a far-off dream, so the United States can avoid another decades-long war in the Middle East. In Boston, Danae Bucci, 7 News. Washington is awash with politics.
Senate will be in order.
But hidden in plain sight is a treasure map. Priceless collections that dot the National Mall. A Tyrannosaurus Rex, the Hope Diamond, the Spirit of St. Louis, the Star-Spangled Banner, the jewels of America's history, art, and culture housed in the world-famous Smithsonian Institution.
The Smithsonian gets over 30 million visits a year, and we get people from all across the United States and around the world.
But not many people know the overseas roots of this very American institution. James Smithson was a European chemist who found it difficult to break through old world nobility. Instead, he looked to the newly founded America, a country he had never been to make his legacy centered around learning.
He saw the United States as that kind of place that was founded on ideas where reason and knowledge and laws were going to be what was in charge rather than aristocracy and inherited privilege.
With no heirs to take his fortune, Smithson's will gave more than $500,000 to the United States in 1839 to increase knowledge, a gift worth billions in today's dollars. With that money, Congress started the institution in 1846, and it's exploded in size ever since. The Smithsonian Institution is responsible for creating some of the country's most popular museums, like the Museum of Natural History or the Hirshhorn Museum and Sculpture Garden. The Smithsonian is the world's largest museum and research complex. There are over 10 iconic landmarks on the mall alone, from the castle to the Museum of Natural History.
One of the most beautiful things about Smithson's gift is in the museums along the mall.
People can celebrate the life of James Smithson at the Smithsonian Castle, where his remains now rest, and his legacy, which vastly enriches the country he thought so fondly of. Danae Bucci, NBC News, Washington.